Hello, Leo. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot. Supportive Oracle cards, the Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Okay, what do we have for Leo? Intriguing so far. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Alright, we don't have a crazy amount of cards, but that's not bad. Messages with the messages. Starting off, see, like, the end looks pretty good. It does, but there's like this swirl going. This swirl is really, like, it's a spider. So it's probably going to sound weird that I'm going to say this, but it reminds me of a cinnamon bun. In the center there's like, having that cinnamon bun swirl feel. I mean, I don't know. It's not really normal to have that thought with a spider, but I also get like community with spider a lot of times, and like communication. And does it say community on here? Communication. Like sometimes the World Wide Web kind of comes through with the spider, what, you know, for the obvious reason. These three cards, is that the seven? It is. The Seven of Pentacles with the Page of Pentacles and the spider going on here. There's constant communication. This isn't new. There's just constant communication back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And there's kind of like something might come of it, something might not come of it. It just seems like we're keeping up with the Joneses here, doing what we got to do. And it's kind of like you're connected. But this is a situation, I feel like they're identifying the situation, and I'm getting that cinnamon swirl again, which the cinnamon swirl is very interesting because cinnamon buns, love cinnamon buns, right? But too much cinnamon can be toxic, right? Like, for example, you don't use it in soaps because that can burn your skin. Like, you don't put it on your skin like that. It's a bad idea to use it as an exfoliant that could actually cause damage. It's good to eat in a nice quantity, in a respectable quantity. But, you know, if you've seen the cinnamon challenge, like, you don't put a big spoon of it in your mouth unless you want to choke and burn your face. Like, you don't do that. But the thing is, I feel like they're saying with the cinnamon, because I'm really getting into the cinnamon, at a certain level, whatever the situation is, it's enjoyable. At a certain level. Less is more. They're warning you a little bit. A little bit. Getting more intensely or deeply involved could be a little bit too much. Could be a little bit uncomfortable. Some people like a little spice in their life, so a little bit of extra cinnamon, not so bad. But there will be a point where it becomes too much. So it's not like, you know, for Leo, you're like, I can handle a lot. That's not where we're going with it. It's more like the aggravation, the ridiculousness, you know, the foolishness that you don't want to have anything to do with anyway. That type of thing. Because you have somebody who seems to be getting a little attached to you. You got the King of Pentacles with the Ghost here. I mean, a ghost is a ghost, right? I know it says regret. That's not what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like somebody getting attached to something that they really... Like somebody just kind of hanging around you, like just almost like latching on you a little bit. Just kind of like always there, starting to get in your business when they don't really need to be in your business. Somebody just kind of like attaching themselves to you. It's just kind of like they're always there. They're constantly getting into your business. That's what I'm feeling with the Ghost card. And the King of Pentacles makes me feel like you're going to hear things from this person like, oh yeah, I remember when you did this, or I remember that, I remember when you told me this, and you're going to be like, are you taking notes every time I speak? Like, some of this I don't even realize I told you. Like, some of this stuff this person's reiterating or talking, giving you back or feeding you back, you're like, I didn't even realize I had told them that. Okay. This is kind of that moment where it's kind of like less is more. if you really try to dig into it and try to figure out what their deal is and where they're getting this information, did you really tell them that or not? You know, and like, why are they so into your business? If you really start to try to dig out the why, I feel like that's the aggravation road. If you just kind of do the cat thing, it says black cat, it says fortune meets opportunity, but what I'm feeling from this is like, if you kind of react like a cat would, kind of like, okay, you're a bit much, I'm just going to go somewhere else. You know, cats are just kind of like, I can't be bothered, and they just kind of go. They're just kind of like, we're done. Doesn't mean they're done with you permanently, if like, especially if you're a cat owner, like I am. They'll just kind of disappear every now and then. You just can't really find them usually. And when they don't want your attention, they don't want your attention. You're not going to see them. They want your attention, they're right there. So they're saying kind of treat it like a cat. I almost feel like this is advice. Like, just kind of like, don't try to figure out the mystery. It's just, you're not going to enjoy it. It's not going to be worth it. It's not going to really make anything better for you. Just kind of like when they get a little weird, because I feel like somebody's getting a little bit weird, maybe that's also like they're kind of haunting you. Maybe you need to ghost them a little bit. Not permanently, but you know, that's the double meaning of this card. Like, they feel like it feels like they're haunting you a little bit. So maybe you need to ghost them a little bit. That's kind of making me laugh. Because it's kind of like the Four of Cups is being covered by the Ace of Rods. Like, what do I need to do about that? I don't see you liking this so much. Four of Cups is telling me it's not really all that bad, but you're not really enjoying it. It's kind of like, listen, get out of my business. The Ace of Wands crossing it is like, how are you going to handle it? How are you going to handle it? I'm getting it goes a lot easier if you just kind of like, whatever. Leo can do that, but it also depends what they're saying to you. If they push a button and they're crossing a line, Leo will also call that right out real quick. Like, oh no, we're not doing that. So, you know, I'm also getting like the lamp, like this person, like, I feel like haunting you. That makes a lot of sense to me. They're haunting you. They pay attention to a lot of things here, and they're watching. Whatever you tell them, it's like they remember it so easily. If you're on social media, they're probably following you or watching you on social media. So, you know, if you got stuff on there, always remember that's very public, and like, you don't know who's looking at it sometimes, depending how you got it set up, of course. If somebody's like really like, they might even be reading between the lines on a few things, but be aware of it, because I feel like with the lamp they're watching, I don't feel like they're watching like they're going to do something negative. I just feel like it's uncomfortable. Like, it's uncomfortable. Where this is going is like, when this first moment comes and you realize this is happening, they're saying just kind of walk away from it for a minute, step back, regroup, realize that this person really isn't of a harm. They're not harmful to your life, is what I'm getting. I don't feel like they are. It's a general read, so take that with a grain of salt, and you decide what's right for you. Like, you always want to be safe wherever you are. But for this read, I'm not feeling whoever this is, they're really harmful. When you come back to it later, I do feel like you'll return to it later. I feel like you can kind of like keep this on the level, keep getting along with this person I feel like you can keep getting along with this person. But they're saying like, just very blandly, like very bland, is the best way I can put it. Just kind of like, well, you know, there's only certain things I allow certain people into my life. And you know, I understand I post a lot here, or maybe there's somewhere they're getting the information. And you can address, like, I understand people see this or people see that, but it doesn't mean they have access or they have the right to tell me what they think about it, or that they're going to be involved in any of that. I'm kind of just like setting the bland rules, like the blanket bland rules. Like, you know, yeah, I post some things, but that doesn't mean I want to talk about it with everybody. I just like to share that. Sometimes I just do it for my own memories. Sometimes I want my family to see it. I just like to have it there. Just because it's posted doesn't mean you get to tell me what you think about it every time I post something. Bland. I keep getting bland. Just kind of casually mentioning something like, you know, I don't like it when people follow every little thing I do. I don't like it when people, as soon as I put up a post, they comment every time I post. I don't like that. Like, that's creepy to me. Just bland, like blanket things. You don't have to address it directly at this person, just bland things like, yeah, this, that. Or, you know, I'm thinking maybe I'll stop posting so much because I think people paying way too much attention to my life or something like that, or I might redo my whatever it is you're posting on. I might like shut that down and reopen it and make it a little bit more private because I think people pay attention too much to things I'd rather they didn't. If you keep it bland, I feel like it's still like you're gonna like wake this person up. Like, listen, you're making me uncomfortable. Stop doing that. But also still be able to work with them in whatever relation you need to, without it being an issue. Kind of like addressing it, get them to back off without having to really deal with any type of real big controversy over it. Like they'll get the hint. Because I'm getting like the skeleton here. You just got to set the rules, because that's the Hierophant here with the Three of Cups. The Hierophant is like, you're going to kind of have to set the rules, but almost like blanket rules. Like, these are the rules for everybody. You're not making it just about that person. You're just kind of like, these are my blanket rules for that subject all together. They need that structure. They need to realize, oh, just because I can see this stuff, just because I overheard them talking to that person, because some of it might be that. You're eavesdropping and they're overhearing you talk with somebody else. Just because I heard that doesn't mean I should add myself to that conversation or blah, 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 blah. Or just, maybe I should just mind my own business just a little bit more. They need the structure because I feel like they don't want to aggravate you. Whoever this person is, they don't want to aggravate you. They want you to still look at them in a positive light, and they feel like they still can. And if they get the hint, like, back off a little bit, I feel like they will respect that. General reading, so take it with a grain of salt, I know. But I feel like they will. They'll get the hint. Like, don't rub the Leo the wrong way. Don't push your luck with the Leo. If you expect to stay on good terms with the Leo, don't push it. You've got forgiveness. What's the skull? The skull of darkness. And the Ten of Cups. Forgiveness with the skull of darkness. Very interesting. You could have taken this farther. You could have taken this, whatever this is, you could have taken it farther. You didn't, is what I'm getting. If this reading is hitting, I'm feeling you didn't. You could have. Like, it was in your realm of possibility. I feel like you're still going to get along with whoever this is. I also see the forgiveness as kind of like, especially when it's coming in with the darkness, it's kind of, the forgiveness is kind of like, I want to, but I'm keeping my eye on it. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like, you're not really like, I don't want to say you're holding it against them, because I don't think you are, but you're remembering and you're watching, and you're like, if that becomes an issue again, I'll say something again. It just may be a little bit more pointed if I have to. But the forgiveness with the dark skull of the darkness, skull of darkness, is kind of like, it makes you a little bit like, what else is going on? I don't think it's about this person at this point. The more I think about it, the more I'm getting into the information, it's kind of like, who else is doing this? Who else is paying too much attention to me? I feel like you might kind of reevaluate what public information you have out there. I know Leo likes to be in the spotlight, but sometimes, even though you're in the spotlight, you might have like this, and this. That can be for everybody to know. I don't care. These other few things, there's a group of people, I don't mind if they know, but I don't need everybody to know. There might be just like family-specific things or a certain friend group-specific things, stuff like that. You might look at this kind of like, you know what, maybe I'm going to regroup this and kind of like, because I've heard of people doing this, I'm going to have, let's just use Facebook because it's so popular. I know it's kind of falling out, but whatever. This Facebook will be for everybody. This one will just be, like, I'll do another one for just my family, and I'll do this third one for just certain friends, and I'll post it based on who I want to see what. Because I don't want everybody knowing everything. I want it to be, like, certain people can know certain things can be public, everybody can know, I don't care. Other things, because I feel like that might be what you're looking at, like, who else is doing this? And I think that's why the Ten of Cups comes in. It's almost like you're seeing this for the gift it could be. This person is hearing a lot of information and knows a lot of information about you. They backed off, but then you're like, wait a minute, who else is out there possibly, stalking me a little bit? Who else is doing that? And you might get a little bit more protected with certain information for that reason. It depends what you think. Like, depends how uncomfortable this person made you. And it depends like what information you think should be in what arena. I've also heard of people saying Instagram is for this, Facebook is for that. I've seen people do that. Like you might just segregate things to like this information could go there, this information goes there. I think I've said it like 3 times now, so I'm going to let that go. Alright, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.